77 WABC and Bergen Newbridge Medical Center honor the life of legendary broadcaster and our friend, Ernie Anastas.
Hi, it's Ernie Anastas. You know, your thoughts can affect how you feel. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is the largest hospital in New Jersey, providing comprehensive, equitable, compassionate, and high-quality emergency inpatient and outpatient medical care, plus mental health services and substance use disorder treatment. The Bergen Newbridge team can address your total health needs in one convenient location. Call 201-225-7130 for an appointment or newbridgehealth.org.
Excuse me! Taxi!
Come on, what are you doing? This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Hello, he's one of the smartest guys I have ever met in my life. I'm talking like, 1, 2, 3. He's right up there. I can't think of anybody smarter, actually, literally. Blaine Holt, retired general from the United States Air Force, master strategist, hugely successful businessman, future anything's possible. This is the man who told me exactly when, to the hour, essentially, the war in Iran would start, and he said it way, way, way in advance. And he's back with us now. Blaine Holt, General, all sincere. I really mean all of those things. It's really incredible, your mind and how you operate. I'm so glad you're on our side. How are you?
I'm humbled and grateful for your friendship and the chance to be on. Thank you very much, my friend. I'm doing great.
All right, wonderful. So look, number one, I want to get your take on what the hell happened last night. There was a report that, and it came from Anna Paulina Luna, who's no slouch in Congress, that the CIA went into Tulsi Gabbard's office at the DNI, which is a different agency, is the umbrella organization, and took documents that were going to be declassified. People are walking that story back, but for a while last night, it seemed like there was almost a civil war between the CIA and the DNI. What is your take on all of that, to the extent you can share?
You know, I'm reminded by the scene in Ron Burgundy where he goes, well, that escalated really quickly. We have a situation that I think is needing much more scrutiny, careful examination, and it's too late to put spackle over this and walk it back. What you have is a subordinate organization in the Central Intelligence Agency that went to its superior organization that was complying with an executive order of the president to declassify materials. They went in and they took these things, and they did it some time ago, and they did this usurping the president's executive order and his intent at a time when he's out of the country. Well, it was reported by Anna Paulina Luna. Great. They argued all night long over whether the word raid was made or seized was made. It doesn't matter. The fact stands on its own. And if we think there's nothing there, well, then let's go ask Representative Comer why late last night he sent a memo over to Director Radcliffe to tell him, impound the evidence, preserve it all, don't let any of it go. And then magically, the press conference that Anna Paulina Luna was going to call was canceled. So when something super hyper embarrassing like this happens by folks who are allegedly on the same team, this is an embarrassment, and it requires more questions. And we want to know why that material can't be put out in front of all of us.
Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. All right, we're going to see where the chips fall on that one. Hey, one thing, if Anna Paulina botched this up a little bit, and I'm not saying she did or didn't or whatever, you got to remember this about our side. Sometimes the dominant media really does the work of Democrats, very, very much so. They're in cahoots. And we don't have anything like that on our side. Conservative media, portions of it, not us, but portions of it, way too reactive, way too discontent with what the dominant media is doing, complaining about them, and not doing any significant legwork that might help those in power, that might reveal truth. They're just too many people just complaining about things. Does that make sense? I'm kind of like, I'm angry at Anna Paulina.
You got it right.
Yeah?
I think you've got it right. There's a circular firing squad on the right side. There really is. Because what will happen is they try to keep everybody in synchronization with this thing, in air quotes, we'll call the narrative. And what I believe is, in Anna Paulina Luna, we have a very honest congresswoman. She came across some information, and she didn't feel the need to vet this through leadership or congressional leadership. She just went live with it and went, the American people need to know this. And this is what we hope of our representatives. But all too often, they stay on the reservation. They stay on the plantation. They wait for the speaker's phone to ring and find out what they're allowed to say, do, or act on things. And that's not what we want at all. We don't want a uniparty, and we certainly don't want a monolithic party that I can't trust Anna Paulina Luna anymore because she's just saying what she's told to say. So I think she's done a great job. This needs to be out there in the public eye. And what we want to know is what is in those boxes that's so embarrassing that the CIA would brazenly go pull those things back at a time when our president is mounting a trip overseas.
Very interesting indeed. I love your perspective, and I get it. All right, so I want your take on this. The New York Times put out a story earlier this week that, we barely made a dent in Iran's nuclear missile and all that stuff. And basically, the military mission that we waged was a bust. I don't believe that's true, but I do believe that the intelligence community, components of it, would leak such a story to the New York Times. What happened? What's really going on here?
They absolutely leaked that to the New York Times. They said it in their own words. Go back to what Brennan said on MS Now not 3 days ago when he said, we have legions of intelligence operatives inside the intelligence community that are ready to take President Trump to task. That's actually quite a seditious statement, but look no further than Alyssa Slotkin, that other seditious person who is out there saying largely the same things with no basis in fact. In fact, I find it as a military person really insulting that you might besmirch the progress and what our military has achieved without 130,000 troops and a blank check on the ground. It's nothing shy of amazing. Need I remind everybody that we're only 2.5, 3 months into this thing, and the end is in sight. So yes, they're going to throw every rock at President Trump they possibly can, and they really just don't care what it looks like.
Did you see Admiral Cooper today?
I did.
Let me play a little bit of that Admiral Cooper, if you can, just about 20 seconds or so. Admiral Cooper speaking at the joint, not to Kirsten Gillibrand, but to the other guy. All right? Yeah, go ahead.
In some detail, to what extent Operation Epic Fury has set back Iran's ballistic missile program. To what extent you can tell us in this open setting.
Yes, sir, Senator. Thank you very much for that question. Our military mission in Operation Epic Fury was crystal clear from the very outset and remained steady throughout. The mission was to degrade Iran's ability.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Look, I found him a little bit too talky pointy, and there was something. I don't mean to quibble here, and I guess I am quibbling, but there was something about him not ready for prime time. Am I being too much of a jerk?
Well, let's give him a little tether. Because, from the civilians in the administration and the political side, we see a lot of flowery language, a lot of we're blasting them to kingdom come. We've done this. We've ruined them, obliteration. But what I think the nation expects of its highest military brass is absolutely apolitical behavior, balls and strikes. This is what our mission is. These are our objectives. Here's how we're doing. And then everything, and it's just got to be that way. And it may be stiff-necked. Where's the personality? I want to hear MacArthur and LeMay. I think it's better for the nation if they just see just the facts, ma'am, kind of Jack Webb behavior, like Dragnet in the days of old. And I think that's for the good of the nation. We certainly have political folks who have the communications, let's call it flair, to put this thing into a little bit of color, and we don't need that out of our uniform.
I get that. I guess part of me, maybe I'm a little bit prejudiced because I have seen 4-star admirals, generals in that chair for the past 20 years talking about how great things were in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they weren't. And sometimes I could look at the language and I'm like, wait a second, these guys are deceptive. They're deceptive right now. And I worry that deception became a culture because I kind of felt like I was getting not spun, but I'm not blaming Cooper, but I anyway, you understand my awkwardness here, my challenge.
Oh, I absolutely do. And DC, let's be very clear, is a viper pit. It is a world of talking points and gotchas and traps. And when you are a 4-star admiral or a 4-star general that goes into that viper pit, you're a war fighter. You're not there to dazzle people with your ability to verbally joust them on the hill. Although you must have that set of capabilities on you, you need to be very careful, because what you don't want is to arm somebody with the ability to say, well, this general's politicized the entire thing. because there are so many people against Trump at this point. If they could go pick apart Admiral Cooper and say Admiral Cooper lied to us or Raisin Payne lied to us, they're going to find that. They're going to take that. If this was a set of Obama generals, they could go up and you could watch their noses grow like Pinocchio and nobody's going to bat an eyelash. It's just a very different environment this time around. And we're having a lot of success. There's no 130,000 troops on the ground, no blank check. And yet they're never going to produce a nuclear weapon. The regime is going to go away. The straits will be open. We'll get the oil safe. And this is the right track. This is what we owe our grandkids.
China. President Trump is there. Looks like he's having a great time. Public niceties. I can't tell what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe we'll know more later. What are you hearing?
He met with, this is very interesting. He had a separate meeting. It was a tour to at the Tea Garden of the Heavens, something close to where Xi Jinping comes from, and met with his very, very well-spoken English-speaking daughter. And it was a private meeting. And now my eyebrows are going up going, interesting. So we came all the way to Beijing to have a private meeting with Xi Jinping's daughter? What kind of information has transpired? Every single time, Greg, you have seen President Trump effusively praise Xi Jinping. He is entering into Chinese Communist Party politics and smacking around the elders who have the long knives out for Xi Jinping. And in exchange for that type of support from the United States, I imagine we're getting somewhere with the things that we want from China.